face each other, and maybe Sugar Shane Mosley as well. He's still in the division. They have to fight the top fighters and unify. Now, Andrew Sixhead Lewis has already said right after this mandatory, he wants to go to any one of those champions. And Mosley, if they step up and do the right thing, create those matchups, this division could heat up in a hurry.
And later tonight, Sixhead Lewis will defend his WBA welterweight title in our main event. Let's get to it. We close in on our first bout as Felix Machado makes his third defense of the IBF Junior Bantamweight title against unbeaten #3 contender Martin Castillo, getting his first world title shot. Let's take a look at highlights of Machado and Castillo. Back in July 2000, Machado registered a convincing unanimous decision in his rematch with Julio Gamboa to capture the vacant IBF 115-pound belt. The Venezuelan southpaw has since defended 2 times, including an impressive points victory over 3-time world champion Mauricio Pastrana in his last fight. Meanwhile, Castillo, an aggressive boxer-puncher from Mexico, has 4 knockouts in his last 5 fights, including an impressive 7th-round technical knockout over the previously undefeated Omar Adorno, a 1996 Olympic representative for Puerto Rico. And the challenger, Martin Castillo, coming in with a picture of his father, Gabriel, said he's dedicating this fight to the memory of his dad, who passed away about 3 years ago. Castillo fought for Mexico at the 96 Olympics, 21-0, 13 knockouts, pretty good power. Has not come close to losing since turning pro in '98. Has won several minor titles, 161 amateur wins, including over current world champions Floyd Mayweather and Eric Morel. Bobby, Castillo's had some impressive victories, but tonight really a major step up in class.
Well, you know, it's time for him to step up. We had a nice interview, and he said, you know, I have the same amount of wins, more knockouts. I believe I'm more versatile. Time to step up. He wants a shot at the title. He's not gone the distance, title fight distance, so that's a big fact for him. But a step up in quality of opposition, absolutely.
We'll see how he handles it tonight. Meanwhile, he'll be going up against the champion, cagey, rangy Felix Machado, a smart southpaw, 21-3-1 with 11 KOs. He's 9-0-1 his last 10, off the good-looking win over Pastrana. But that was over 9 months ago. Scheduling problems, waiting for a mandatory, the explanation. Getting the big hug from a promoter who looks vaguely familiar. Despite the inactivity, could his ring savvy, his overall boxing skills, speed, and championship experience be the differences tonight?
I think if there's going to be a big difference tonight, it'll be in the experience that he's had at championship level. He's been 12 rounds 5 times. Castillo has never been past 10. If this fight is close and gets long and late, that could be the biggest factor. And the only other factor would be if he can stay outside. He's a better boxer from the outside. Castillo better on the inside. Those are the 2 factors for the champion.
Machado looking very relaxed, smiling. Let's check the numbers as we go to the tail of the tape. Castillo 4 years younger. Machado hopes to capitalize on his height and reach. 2 weigh-ins for the title fights here in Pennsylvania this morning. Machado almost 122, Castillo 119.5. And if you're 10 pounds more than the first weigh-in and you win, the title becomes vacant. No problem here. Here are the rules. No standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental headbutt occurs before the end of the 4th, the fight is ruled a technical draw. If it happens after the end of the 4th, they go to the scorecards. So here at the Sovereign Center in Reading, PA, getting ready for Felix Machado versus Martin Castillo for the IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship. Let's get the formal introductions from our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to the Sovereign Center here in Reading, Pennsylvania, as we have a big night of action coming away, and it's all brought to you by Don King Productions in association with Showtime and the undisputed king of beers, Budweiser. This world title attraction coming your way is sanctioned by the International Boxing Federation. The president is Marion Muhammad, supervisor Linda Torres, along with the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission. The executive director is Greg Serb. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. Dennis Gilbert, Dr. Harry Einzig, and Dr. Alan Brackup. Now introducing to you our 3 judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Hackettstown, New Jersey, Pierre Benoist. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Ron Greenlee. Also from Philadelphia, George Hill. And the 3rd man in the ring, our referee in charge of this bout, also from Philadelphia, Blair Talmadge. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first the challenger on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue trunks with white trim, hailing from Mexico City, Distrito Federal, Mexico. His weight right at the limit of 115 pounds, a member of Mexico's Olympic boxing team. His professional record is unblemished at 21 wins, no losses, 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the IBF number 3 ranked junior bantamweight contender, introducing the undefeated Martin El Gallo Castillo. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks, hailing from Bolivar, Venezuela. His weight 114 1/2 pounds. His record stands at 21 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, with 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he is making the 3rd defense of his title. Here is the IBF Junior Bantamweight Champion of the World, introducing Felix Machado. Once again, our referee in charge, Blair Talmadge, now to give instructions. 12 rounds of action scheduled.
I give you instructions in the dressing room. Do you have any questions? What? I want you to be my command at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. These are good punches right here. Okay, good punches right there. Touch gloves and come out at the bell.
Blair Talmadge from Philly with the final instructions. Both offensive-minded, aggressive boxers. Machado, a slick, technical southpaw, patient fighter who says he'll look to keep Castillo at bay, fight from a distance. Castillo, a faster starter with a bit more fire, will look to fight from close range, get that inside thing going against the long jab of Machado. Sparred with a tall, rangy southpaw. 2-0 versus lefties, both by 2nd round knockout, is Castillo, including his last fight, a knockout via a body shot. Machado wearing the black with the white trim. Castillo, you can't miss him because of the big tattooed ad on his back, wearing the blue sequin. Those temporary tattoo ads have drawn the wrath of several networks as fighters sneak free ads into the ring. A Las Vegas judge recently ruled that the ads are free speech, which overruled the Nevada Athletic Commission at the time. So it's caused some stir and some controversy here in the world of boxing.
You gotta find a way to drag the Constitution into this, huh?
You were just born a little too late, huh, in terms of these ads on the backs?
Yeah, I guess so, Steve. But be it what it may, you gotta let a guy do what he wants to do. Fighters feeling themselves out really for this whole first minute, just really feeling themselves out. That's the first reasonable combination by either fighter.
Castillo probably has more power. Machado, the better overall boxer. Although Castillo feels that Machado is overrated as a boxer. He calls him more of a runner. That Machado wants to do everything from the outside.
There's not a huge difference in the height, but Machado stands so straight up and down. He just makes himself look taller and longer. I think Castillo's more versatile, but he really needs to get inside. He can't fight this fight from the outside. Machado wants to control this fight in the distance from the outside.
And Machado thinks that Castillo is vulnerable to the body.
Big right hand counter there by Castillo, and he hurt Machado.
That's got Machado backing away, and now Castillo swinging wildly.
Let him go.
A little over-anxious, perhaps.
It was a good left hook to the body in there also by Castillo, and one right hand over the top that was real nice, mixing his punches up well.
Machado, though, feels he can drop Castillo with his left when Castillo comes in. We'll see. We'll also see if headbutts are a factor, particularly with a taller southpaw. Although, as you pointed out, not a huge disparity in height, although because of his straight upright style, Machado gives the appearance of being a lot taller than he is. Under 30 seconds remaining in the opening round, scheduled for 12. This is the IBF Junior Bantamweight title fight. It's held by Machado. His third title defense. He's 21-3-1 with 11 knockouts, wearing the black trunks. 3-1-1 in world title fights. 29-year-old out of Bolivar, Venezuela. Castillo undefeated, 21-0, 13 KOs. A 25-year-old from Mexico City. Bobby Chez, give us your keys to victory.
Start with Felix Machado. We talked about his height and reach. Well, he has to use that height and reach. Try and keep Castillo at the end of his punches. That'll be to his advantage. Also, set the fight distance. Using that height and reach to his advantage is absolutely key. And lastly, the straight left hand. As a southpaw, it's his best weapon. He's pretty accurate with it. For Martin Castillo, take the fight on the inside. He cannot win this fight from the outside. Just too long arms to get around. Also, once he's inside, work the body to slow down the legs on Machado. And lastly, outwork Machado on the inside. You can't let Machado just tie him up. When he works his way in, he's got to work when he's inside.
Our translator is Iris Violeta.
Pira, look, when he comes in here, go directly. Use your speed. Go ahead. Go and step. Go ahead.
Talk to him on the outside.
Just don't let him corner you. Go ahead, Papi.
Carlos Penango in the corner of Felix Machado.
You notice in the first round, Castillo started out very slow, very cautious. As the round went on, he gauged the speed and awkwardness of the tall, rangy southpaw and started to land some pretty good shots.
Machado hasn't fought in over 9 months, so the wonder is conditioning a factor if the fight goes deep. But he's very crafty. You know, he is a southpaw, but he's not really what you'd call unorthodox. He knows how to fight.
They just banged heads too, Steve.
Yeah, we thought that might enter into it. Machado normally doesn't wait to counter. He looks to initiate. He's a busy guy. A boxer first. He keeps the fight at the distance he wants. Normally a very effective right jab. Castillo very aggressive. Trying to get inside the long jab of Machado.
Let him go.
But Machado very accurate with his punches and relies heavily on his excellent leg and hand speed. He's much more effective when he's coming forward. He's got those thin arms, Bobby, but he does have deceptive strength, Machado.
He's got a pretty good straight left hand, and his uppercuts on the inside are pretty effective. What I've been impressed with so far, on his way in and on his way out, Castillo has been pretty sharp at avoiding punches and there, timing, bang shots on the way in.
Beautiful left hook to the jaw by Castillo.
See there, you see him slip out? It's a subtle little move, but it saves a lot of energy. He makes Castillo miss. He makes Machado miss. Castillo right back on top.
Castillo's confidence building here. Machado looking for the left uppercut, but missed. A lot more movement from Castillo here. Thought it might be the opposite.
See his speed in and out, speed with the legs there, and then the right hand counter punch. Castillo's looking sharp, landing a lot more percentage-wise than his Machado.
Machado generally not known for being too dangerous early, and Castillo looking to take advantage. Machado opens up a bit there with a combination. Machado comes on. Machado now finding the openings and landing. You can see the slickness in Machado with his movement.
They backfired again.
You saw the reaction by Castillo as the heads collided. But I don't see any blood.
Watch your head. More, give me some more. Just keep doing it. to your left. Just don't cross it. Just do the javelin and just do it with your body. He doesn't have anything to do anything to you. Nothing, nothing. So now you just like not nervous. You just began. Just.
You're gonna watch here. Okay, you have the taller southpaw here, and Castillo bends a lot. He's gonna come off to the side, and their heads are gonna crush right on each side. You can see the heads bang. Comes up on the inside, right there. See the heads bang. Shorter man coming up in the second one. Similar situation. Comes in, and there just head runs right into another one. Right into him.
When a southpaw is involved, we see more headbutts simply because of the position and angle of the fighters. And Castillo victimized in that last round. It's round 3 scheduled for 12 for the IBF 115-pound belt.
And with a fighter that stands so straight up like Machado, you're always going to see some headbutting because people are going to come in underneath him, and he's going to have to bend somewhere. They're going to collide heads.
Left hook to the neck area by Castillo. Good counter punching. Straight left hand by Machado. And Machado's not given an inch as Castillo comes forward like a bull.
Castillo's not working in behind his jab too often. He's doing a lot of countering, some of it good. Sometimes, though, you just need to work this straight jab in. Quickest way to a point, straight line.
Both showing movement now. Nice straight left to the nose, the bridge of the nose by Machado. Machado's landing a lot more frequently now as this fight goes on. Here's a nice left uppercut to the belly by Machado. Machado really showing his ring savvy now. And a straight left hand to the head by Machado.
That might have been the best punch of the night so far for Machado.
He's now getting the attention of the challenger.
He's catching his rhythm and finding his range as well.
It would behoove Castillo to move to his left to stay away from the power of Machado. Machado again coming forward.
Still blocking pretty well on the inside, showing some good defense, good head movement with his hands up.
A lot of leg movement by the champion. Machado in the black. Machado has been down just once in his career. Castillo never in 21 pro fights. Machado down in his first professional fight, and he was TKO'd in the 3rd round. He called it his worst experience ever. Very discouraged, but he bounced back nicely.
But evidently a pretty good wake-up call.
He went on to win a world championship.
You notice that Castillo's loading up with that left hook swing way too wide, and he is telegraphing that blow. Never going to hit Castillo. Machado with that if he keeps loading up that way.
Sit back.
He needs to keep his punches tighter and throw them straighter. Work his way inside, then unload.
Machado with the better quality of opposition, as you mentioned at the outset. Big step up in class for Castillo. Final seconds of round 3. A good round for the champion here. Machado brimming with confidence now. Look out, he trimmed. No knockdown, of course.
No knockdown. All right, no knockdown. I don't think you... All right.
This is what I want. You have to tell them you are the champion. You win the fight. I'm the one. When I say you do, okay? You got to get him when he's coming in, and you just do it clean. You just do it clean. Inside. Do it clean.
You watch the champion Machado work him behind the jab and throw that straight left hand right on the nose. Lands clean against Castillo. Best punch of the round. Now Castillo's trying to work his way in, but he's swinging wildly. Big left hook. It's nothing but air. And now we're going to see a little slip at the end of the round. Just a little trip. There it is. The tangled feet. Something you always have with a southpaw fights an orthodox fighter.
Machado told us that he thinks Castillo is very vulnerable to the body. When he feels those hard body shots, he begins to run. Castillo got off to a fast that start, that is normal for him.
Let him go, let him go, let him go.
But that fire that burned at the opening bell is now flickering. And it's been all Machado since. A look at the championship experience average length of bouts.
As I was saying earlier, the longer this fight gets, the better it is for Machado.
Well, he's got most everything going his way. As mentioned, the only edge Castillo might have is in the power department. But Machado is so quick, he's able to elude a lot of the punches by Castillo, negating the power.
Not only that, but Castillo, once again, is not working behind the jab. He works him behind the jab. Number one, he puts a hand in the face of Machado, shuts down the distance, and then he can unload with his power shots. He's trying to leap in with power shots. Castillo just not quick enough to catch Machado like that.
And Machado is fighting a smart fight in that he's keeping the challenger at bay with that long reach, fighting the fight from the outside. Why get in there and trade with Castillo and risk losing?
Sit back. Sit.
Machado's punches much more accurate than Castillo's. High work rate by Machado. And it appears as if the 9-month layoff is not affecting him at all.
See, once again, on the inside, Machado's going to tie Castillo up. He's going to hold him. And that's, you can see the frustration there by Castillo.
Castillo trying to finish the round strong.
He did just that. Stevie landed some nice combination, but he can't move straight back against a long-armed fighter like Machado. He's going to get caught on the tail end of those blows. Got to step to one side left or right, and counter up inside.
Castillo trying to drive in and get inside. Pretty good left hand right on the neck by Castillo.
That's it, that's it, that's it.
Still to come, our main event, Andrew Six-Heads Lewis versus Ricardo Mayorga for the WBA Welterweight Championship. We'll take you backstage into the dressing room of the challenger, #1 WBA contender, Ricardo El Matador Mayorga. This kid's got a lot of personality. He can talk. There with cutman Al Banani. Getting his second crack at Lewis following the no contest back in July in LA, where he thought the champion had the home court advantage, so to speak. Later, he'll take on Six-Heads Lewis, and he predicted a third round stoppage.
You are very intelligent.
Was she talking about you?
I don't know.
Round 5. And Castillo comes out fast.
He started to get his rhythm back down the last half of that last round. He started to land some good clean blows and neutralize the reach of the champion. Probably pulled out that fourth round, but he's got to stay on track.
Scheduled for 12 for the IBF 115-pound championship. Machado, the champion, in the black, digging to the body with that left uppercut. Castillo, the challenger, in the blue. El Gallo printed on the front of his trunks, which means the rooster.
You notice this round, Machado's chasing Castillo. Castillo's not the aggressor in this round. Interesting footnote for now. Castillo's much more effective when he's coming in.
Hit, no hitting punches.
Here's a look at press row. Dan Raphael from the USA Today, Tim Smith, the New York Daily News. And it wouldn't be complete with Don Stewart from the Reading Eagle. They all have Castillo in front, and all the same. How do you have it so far?
Actually, Actually, I have it even. I have a dead split, 2 rounds to 2.
Really?
Yeah. There was one close round that Castillo could have swung, but I thought that he missed a few more punches, and that one swing makes it 39-37.
Well, that's because this is broadcast row. That's press row.
Press row.
And of course, the general feeling is that you have to do more to take the belt away.
Right, 2 of the first 4 rounds were very, very close to razor thin, and flip there's 2-point swing, which any one of those close rounds that you flip on my scorecard makes it exactly the same as press row. I have no problem with that right now.
But I love it when you disagree with them, or when they disagree with you. It makes it more exciting. Makes it dramatic. Now for the head again, says Castillo. The head's, oh, now there's a cut. There's a cut around the right eye, over the right eye of Machado. Probably the result of a clash of heads. And
there's a gash on top of the head for Castillo.
Yeah, exactly. So now they're both bleeding here in round 5 with 35 seconds to go. And now both fighting with a major sense of urgency as a result. I think more so Machado. Machado can feel it dripping down the right cheek. And it's very plain and evident now. Oh, look at the right side now of Castillo's face. Blood pouring down his face. It doesn't look like though it's getting into his eye, which is unbelievable.
Nice body shots here by Castillo.
There's so much blood coming down the right side of Castillo. I mean, it looks like Niagara Falls, but I think it's avoiding the eye. Some of it may be getting in there.
I know.
It's nothing. It's just nothing. Look, we're going to work with him. It's nothing. It's just nothing. Just hit me with a hit. You have to really work diligent. You have to go direct. Nothing. Oh, no.
Why you stop it, Doc?
Why are you going to stop this? What? Yeah.
My name is Miguel Diaz.
Okay. Oh, don't worry about this. Believe me, don't worry about this. It's nothing. One more round. Thank you, doctor, very much.
Boy, Miguel Diaz going wild there in the face of the ringside physician, Bobby, Dr. Dennis Gilbert, saying you can't stop this fight. It's all right. As Iris is pointing out, they kept saying it was nothing.
Watch what's going to happen again. We have the tall fighter who stands straight up. Castillo bends his legs, comes up underneath. Their heads right about here clash, and it's just a nasty cut on both. He bends, comes in. The man standing up, who comes down now. Look at that head clash. Head to eye. One head's cut, one eye's cut.
Well, if this thing is stopped as a result of this, they go to the scorecards now. Miguel Diaz with Castillo as the cut man and Luis Gomez doing the job in the Machado corner, and both had to work feverishly. Round 6, and things really getting dramatic now. That cut immediately opens up again on the right side of Castillo's face. It opens up just a little bit with Machado. And Castillo really fighting with urgency now. He's just winging.
He's swinging with desperation. He swung Mike Tyson-sized left hooks. He's trying to get this fight over now.
Oh, yeah. Big left hand there by Castillo. It's target practice for both. But Castillo's trying to end this thing on one punch.
You know what? I think they're worried about the cut, but it was declared a headbutt, so it wouldn't be an automatic stoppage and loss. It would be going to the scorecard.
Oh, yeah.
So if his corner thinks he's winning, they shouldn't have a problem with the stoppage.
The right ear is drenched in blood of Castillo. Machado, the luckier of the two in terms of the cut. And now a push by Castillo. Castillo has been known to use roughhouse tactics. He knows all the tricks. Rough kid. Missing wildly with those lefts and rights.
See that blood coming down his right ear.
His right ear is just a pool of blood, Castillo.
Doesn't seem to be going anywhere near the eyes, but it is coming down his ear.
I mentioned that when the cut first originated, that it didn't seem to be going into the eye, obscuring his vision in any way, which is the big concern. It's all the way on the right side near the ear. And that's very fortunate for Castillo. And that may be a big reason why the ringside physician let it continue. When Castillo continues to just swing away, hoping to end it as quickly as he can under the circumstances.
You know what he should do, though, and I'm surprised the corner's not telling him to stick to his fight game, because if he gets stopped because of the accidental butt, and they believe it's a head, he wins. So just keep doing what was getting you there. He started to take over, and everybody's in a panic now.
Castillo's cuts emanating from the top of the head and dripping all the way down and pouring all the way down the right side.
Let him go.
As we approach the final 30 seconds of round 6. Meanwhile, Castillo continues to come forward. Hardly any blood from Machado's cut.
Let him go.
And it's in a good place as well, off to the right side, not getting into his eye. Oh, a little bolo action there by Castillo, feeling his own.
Sit back.
Okay. Put the water over here. Water.
Oh, he's stopping the fight. He's stopping the fight. And they don't like it at all in the Castillo corner. Castillo shaking his head, Miguel Diaz as well. And you can hear the crowd reaction. Are you surprised in any way by this, Bobby?
Well, I'm a little surprised for the fact that I didn't see it ever go actually in his eye. I don't know how big the cut is. I don't know exactly how much blood is oozing out there. There seemed to be a lot of red hair, which I know is the blood. Doctor is a doctor, and I'm not, so I gotta defer to the authority in this one.
They'll go to the scorecards now after 4 rounds. They go to the scorecards if the fight is stopped by an accidental headbutt. And it's going to be interesting because earlier they had Castillo, at least press row had Castillo ahead. Of course, it's in the hands of the 3 ringside judges, Pierre Benoist from Hackettstown, New Jersey, Ron Greenlee from Philly, and George Hill, also from Philadelphia. So look for concern there on Machado's face because the title is at stake and it ends on a headbutt. And Castillo could be ahead. The trouble began in round number 5.
Look at overhead view here. You watch as Castillo's coming in, leans up and comes in right there. Comes back with his head. Watch both heads land. Oh, I'm sorry. They already clashed on the way down. It was a grazing shot. Maybe a better angle. Right there. On the way in. I mean, they just slammed heads. His eye was immediately cut. Top of his head is immediately cut. 2 for the price of 1.
So now we wait for the decision of this abbreviated fight as a result of the cut. There's the cut, not as bad, obviously, over the right eye of Felix Machado toward the side. So it really wasn't hampering him all that much. And the blood that was cascading down the side of Castillo's face, not much of it was getting into his eye. But it just looked awful. Jimmy Lennon Jr. is now ready for the decision of this controversial fight. So let's go to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout has been stopped at the end of round number 6. Our referee in charge, Blair Talmadge, stops the contest upon advice of the ringside physician. We go to the scorecards with a technical decision. Here are the score totals. All three judges score the bout exactly the same, 58 to 56. All three in favor of the winner, and still champion Felix Machado.
There you have it, Machado, the winner by whatever you want to call it, technical decision, unanimous decision. All three judges had it 58-56, Bobby.
A unanimous technical decision. I thought Castillo had a slight lead, but just by a point. I had it 58-57, 3-2-1 even. Very, very, very close. You know, one round there, I said, is a 2-point swing. It's just too early. There's no real closure here.
Well, he'll take it any way he can. Machado retains his IBF Junior Bantamweight title, his third successful defense. Ups his record to 22-3-1 and makes it 10-0-1 in his last 11, and he becomes the first person to beat Martin Castillo, who drops to 21-1. Coming up next, we've got our main event, the WBA welterweight championship. It's Andrew Sixheads Lewis, who will square off with #1 contender Ricardo Mayorga. Boy, these two guys have waged a war of words that began prior to the first fight, and it has really escalated. Let's take you into the dressing room of the only champion from the small country of Guyana, Andrew Sixheads Lewis. Personable, fast-talking, as legend has it, the nickname Sixheads was derived when he was 7. Young Andrew scored a knockout, and when his blurry-eyed opponent came to, he told the referee, please stop the fight. I see 6 heads in front of me. The name just stuck. Everybody calls him Six, even his mom.
It's up, champ. Top time, baby.
We're set for some post-fight reaction right now. We've got our Larry Michael standing by with Greg Serb, the head of the Pennsylvania Boxing Commission. Up to Larry.
All right, Steve. First of all, Greg, how bad were the cuts on both fighters?
Both fighters' cuts are bad. They're both going to need stitches. The doctor said both cuts, both are going to need stitches.
Now, Castillo, they said they give him one more round. Was that the referee's discretion at that point?
Well, that was at the doctor's discretion. The cut for Castillo was high up in his head. They were trying to see if they can give him a round, see where the blood was going to go. But obviously you saw it was running right to his eye, and that's when the doctor said that's it.
All right, Greg Serb of the Pennsylvania Athletic Commission. Let me get the champion over here, if we can. Felix, come on over. Congratulations. We have this lady here be our interpreter. Felix, congratulations. You said that distance would be a key to this fight today. Was that the key for you today?
Dijiste que la distancia iba a ser la clave para la pelea esta noche. ¿Fue la clave para esta pelea?
Sí, esa fue la clave y bueno, me salió bien. Y a pesar de todo, que ahora es que estaba yo calentando y ahora es que iba a tirar más golpes. Estaba frío todavía.
Yeah, that was the key to the fight, and I was just starting to warm up. I was still cold, and I was getting better as every round was going on.
Was he aware that they gave Castillo one round after those cuts occurred?
¿Estás consciente que le dieron un round a Castillo luego de las heridas?
Sí, sí, estoy consciente, pero el que me tiró los cabezazos, sobre todo, ustedes vieron, y en cámara usted puede ver en cámara lenta que fue él el que me dio los cabezazos. Claro, no fueron intencionales, pero fue él el que me los pegó.
Yes, I'm aware of it, but I think he's the one that gave me the headbutt. It wasn't intentional, but he was the one that bothered me.
His corner, your corner, complained about headbutts early in the fight. Did you sense that might be a problem throughout the fight?
Tu esquina se quejó de cabezazo temprano en la pelea. ¿Tú pensaste que eso podría ocasionar un problema en la pelea?
Sí pensé, pero dije que bueno, si la peleaba en la tarjeta, nosotros estábamos ganando y vamos a ganar porque estábamos bien.
Yes, I thought about it, but I thought I was ahead, so I said if it becomes a problem, I was still going to win.
Let's take a look at some of those headbutts. What were you thinking in round 2 as the first headbutt occurred?
¿Qué estabas pensando ahora cuando pasó el primer cabezazo en el round 2?
No dije nada. Lo que le di a mi esquina, bueno, un cabezazo me dieron, pero mi esquina me dijo que no me preocupara porque no era nada grave.
No, I didn't say nothing. I just told my corner I received a headbutt, and they told me don't worry about it. It's nothing to worry about.
Further on in round 5, another headbutt occurred, and that was a nasty one.
Después en el round número 5, otro cabezazo, y ese fue bastante fuerte. ¿Qué piensas de eso?
Bueno, ahí, lo que te puedo decir, que dije, bueno, esta pelea la pueden parar por alguna de las dos partes, porque de verdad que los dos estábamos echando sangre bastante. Él, sobre todo, más él por aquí que se
Yeah, it was a tough headbutt. It was a strong headbutt, but I said somebody's going to get hurt here. He was bleeding more than me, and I thought it was going to stop the fight.
Good, successful defense of your title. What is next for you, champion?
Buena defensa del título esta noche. ¿Qué es lo próximo para ti, campeón?
Bueno, estamos esperando hablar con mi apoderado, bueno, con Don King, que yo creo que no tiene 2 peleas más por ahí, o 2 o 3 peleas. Y bueno, prepararme. Y lo que quería decir también es que felicito a Castillo porque fue peleador y yo sabía que la pelea iba a ser así, de esa forma.
Well, my management team and Don King as the one who says who got the last word. I want to congratulate Castillo. He did a good fight and he was a good fighter tonight.
All right, thank you. Congratulations. A bloody end to this battle, and the champion defends his title successfully. Back to Steve.
All right, Larry Machado told us yesterday he dreams of becoming the unified champion at 115, then perhaps move up to 118, which has the bigger names. Let's check out the scoring for Machado versus Castillo. This is how the ringside judges saw it. They all had it the same. 58-56, Benoist, Greenlee, and Hill, as we reported earlier. And then according to the folks along press row, let's see how they judged it. Dan Rafael of the USA Today had Castillo winning 58-56.
They were unanimous in the other direction. I had it 58-57 for Castillo.
Tim Smith from the Daily News in New York and Don Stewart from the Reading Eagle, they all had Castillo winning at 58-56, just the antithesis of the ringside judges. All right, let's switch gears for a moment by saying, yes, it is on. After 6 years in the making with numerous starts and stops, Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson for the heavyweight championship of the world has been announced to officially take place on June 8th. Now, since originally coming to terms at the beginning of the year, the fight has bounced from Las Vegas to cities around the world, including at various times Amsterdam, Dublin, Beirut, Barcelona, Los Angeles, Detroit, Washington, D.C., New York City, and finally to settle in Memphis, Tennessee. The fight